Welcome everybody, this is Evelyn. I have 3 reads today. I have the Metatron deck read, I have my message of the day, and the Twin Flame General spread on the table with you now. And today is the 4th of March, 2022. The 4 of the Emperor today adds up to the 13, which is the Death card, or transition, transformation, endings, dark night of the soul. So very profound energy with the Death card and the Emperor. The ending of some kind of control or position. And we're going to roll the die as well. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Let's take another deep breath, sending lots of love out to the world, especially to the Ukraine and Russia. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you all for joining me today. Let's roll the dice, see what comes up for the Twin Flames. Twin Flames for today. We have the number 10, which is that high vibe of the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. It's also Libra energy for me. We have the Jupiter symbol, which also looks like the number 4, but is Jupiter of expansion and benevolence. And then we also have Scorpio, which is in the South Node right now, so letting go of certain Scorpio traits that no longer serve you. So Scorpio, Libra, and Sagittarius, so all right in a row. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, going from fall to winter. And by the way, with that, the energy being of the Emperor today, with the Emperor reversed right here, I'm just noticing. And the Death card is reversed as well. So that need to culminate a huge transition in one's life. Okay. So we have expansion and deep transformation with Scorpio, and then Libra, which can be much more surface regarding balance and relationships. So I started this Metatron read at 11:47, which is the 11 of Justice, the 47 of the 7 of Cups, which for me is about synchronicities. It's all about having lots of options as well and choices. Perhaps spreading yourself too thin, but it also can be heaven in your eyes, right? Seeing everything is beautiful. So the underlying energy from the Metatron read, let me get these pictures up for you. Okay. I'm going to the wrong place. This was today. Okay. So here is my Metatron read. The underlying energies is, this is the bottom of the deck here, and I go 3 down. This is the first card out, going across down to here, and then these 3 are together as well. Then these 3, which makes it a 21 card read. And then these are like an addendum. Sometimes some extra cards come out. Okay, so it's like a PS. So this is my Metatron read. So like I said, the bottom card is the Cosmos energy. It's number 20, which is Judgment. And the first card out was the Metatron card, number 27, which is the Ace of Wands, that third energy, that flame, that inspiration. And the colors that came up in the read today were white, gold, yellow, and green. And I was getting the energy of going from the white above the crown to the gold, and then we have the yellow of the solar plexus going into the heart of the green. So there's this connection there in those two locations coming up as significant. And also the air element came up as significant in the read today. And yeah, and also the reflections of 13 and 31 and 14 and 41 were also coming up as significant, with the air card and the chaos card as 13 and 31, and boundaries and as above so below with the 14 and 41. A gate to get in. Right? So the reason why you need to get into a gate above is because you require boundaries below. That was coming up as well. And yeah, the underlying energy I started processing at 11:57, which is justice and the Three of Swords, of separation or disappointment, heartbreak. As the King of Cups, where we ended yesterday. Remember yesterday the read went from the Queen of Cups in the beginning to the King of Cups in the end. Well, it starts today with the King of Cups looking up to detach from drama with their head in their hands, and that came up yesterday as well, and using that energy to channel your energy in learning how to use our consciousness to fly. But also is coming up, there was a technique that Patricia McNeely would use, covering one eye or the other to tap into the masculine or the feminine, and also using energy techniques, to push your energy from the masculine to the left, masculine to the feminine, or vice versa, from the left to the right, going from the feminine to the masculine if you're a 2 in your masculine. And where is it showing up? What chakra? And can you perhaps move some energy over to the other side? And Miss Mary Mack was coming up again today. Again, there's that energy of crossing your energy to balance and to integrate one into the other. So head and hands covering their eyes to experiment with the masculine and the feminine energies, sitting in the grass at sunrise, setting natural boundaries every day of patience and balance, of hedges and stone castles, natural walls to support our travels. And then the Einstein-Rosen bridge was coming up with the wormhole, which is shown as a U-type shape with the a stent kind of energy, right? That the hourglass energy of the stent between the two sides, like a horseshoe magnet with this hole in between. And the 37 coming up as the Empress and Divine Feminine driving the Chariot, where the 1, 4 or 14 was coming up as the Divine Masculine driving the Emperor, having to do with 1 and 4. Or the opposite, the Chariot driving the Empress, hands free, and the Emperor driving the Divine Masculine, driving Miss Daisy as the Emperor is hard on the Divine Masculine. The King of Cups with patience and judgment as the cosmos mirrors the 12-faced wake-up call, or the board's announcement, perhaps. All right, where did I put my pen? So maybe there's some kind of announcement from a board with 20, so somebody could have a wake-up call or the board's announcement with 20 points. And this was at 12:12, again talking about the 12-faced wake-up call, which can reference DNA, but also the 12 who initially kind of overrode Eisenhower's decisions to connect with the ETs and make contracts. So there's that energy coming up as well. At 12:12 on how the King of Cups can get to the Sun portal. And then at 12:13, which is the transition from there, the first card out, the Metatron Magnetic Service Rainbow Bridge. The third flame arcing, perhaps acing as well, to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. A stroke of luck, or genius, some say. Inspiration created from patience and judgment. Balance and galactic mirror, expanding beyond to infinity, where the hourglass becomes the channel. from 5 to 9, Vesica Pisces, and sine waves, the whispering bench, where two meet, become intertwined, but the third part interrupts and disturbs the natural flow and becomes entangled, a jam in the tire, a thorn in the side, a tape that got caught up and jumbled, mixed up all the signals, perhaps. So the Einstein-Rosen bridge and the wormhole example, but here I was getting what happens when you have the two separate circles, which makes the hourglass in the middle, which is that toroidal field. But when you overlap the two circles and make the Vesica Pisces, that's where the quantum entanglement can come about, because you have two who are sharing their energies, and then the third interrupts. And Dan Winters was talking about interruption that doesn't, it's a benevolent type of interruption. It doesn't change the patterns that are already ongoing, whereas the quantum entanglement is the energy of disrupting the natural flow of things, whereas you can have a third energy who can actually add to the flow as opposed to disrupting the natural pattern of things. So that was coming up. So when two fields overlap, their radius becomes one and the same from the center to the edge, because now their center to the edge is to each other's centers. The rod, the staff, the shaft, the elongated olive, the sharp point, the beam, remember this is radius, the rise, the ray of light, the pulling your love light in solar plexus of connection, two plasma spheres merging into one and half independent, sharing the same ray of light. The bone that supports the thumb, that protects the fourth finger to the fourth chakra, rose-line connection. Also, before I turn the page, there's a significance regarding today's date because it's 3-4, and the 3-4 is a very significant combination with 7. 3 and the 4 of the Emperor and the Empress that equal the Chariot, which is the feminine within the masculine, ascending. So the numbers 1, 0, 3, 4, and 7 were very significant today, as I brought up the 1331 and the 1441 as well, reflecting each other. So going from the bone that supports the thumb, and again we were talking about the definitions of the radius, as the two's radius overlap and become the same radius from the center to the edge of each circle, going into each other's energy, become one and the same. The rod, the staff, the shaft, the elongated olive, which is like the 0 stretching into the oval or the ellipsis, the sharp point, the beam, the rising, the ray of light, the pooling of your love light in the solar plexus of connection, that quantum entanglement there. Two plasma spheres merging into one. Half of you is one, two as one, and the other half is still independent, sharing the same ray of light, the bone that supports the thumb, that protects the fourth finger to the fourth chakra, rose-line connection. The last train for the coast. So instead of the east or west coast, it was coming up as coasting. The last train for the coast, which is the flow down the river, which came up yesterday as well. The free flow fall into the arms of the heart. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Ah, the bum's life, living from the heart. At 12:33, which is the hanging man and the Christ vibration, or living from that Christ consciousness. Hermit, take action. The third isn't just a third, it is a third and a fourth. One circle and sphere in front as the two come together, and then the quantum entanglement of a third being in the center. But when the third comes in the center, it's never just one, because there's an equal and opposite on the other side that you can't see in the back. So the 3 always becomes a 4. The circle and sphere in front and one in the back not seen. When one moved in, leaving space for another, the third, and bringing in also that which was still attached to that one. 2 coming in together with 2 attached, as 1 and 2 going together, just as 3 and 4 build on 1 and 2. And those are, again, the 1 and 2 of the Magician and the High Priestess, and the 3 and the 4 of the Empress and the Emperor. So 27/9, the Ace of Wands, which also comes up on the Metatron card in this deck, A stitch in time saves 9, catching it before it becomes a problem. However, a stitch in time is also an interdimensional connection, a rainbow arc, a eureka moment that saves the 9 from doing it for us, helping ourselves before we require interference or quantum entanglement. From the 27/9 of ingenuity to the 28/1 of the twin flame back and forth of choosing a path less traveled to untie the knots of the karmic grid and the quantum entanglement of energy lines, blowing a gasket, tripping you up, a gathering with the wrong kind of people or wires, and getting those IV vines or wires or lines crossed. Too many vines of continuous flow can take over a house and cause leaks, you know. The King of Swords of purity and innocence at 1254, the Hanging Man, with a message. The King of Swords of purity and innocence, supported by the pure arc of the white light, which is also the rainbow connection, and the whispering bench, the canoe that takes you downriver, once following your heart of gold with spontaneous infinity overflowing love light sent to the karmic grid to untangle the twin flame knots. The quantum energy black holes, quote unquote, the two-eyed needle, two cyclones together as one, two spirals or two spins that create the infinite rose heart, two phis as one pi, the 2 of 1.618 as the 1 that's 3.14, showing you that together you become more than you are alone. So instead of 3.14, it actually ends up equaling, with the 2 together, 3.236, which is slightly more. Where the whole pi equals 3.14, but they become 2 times 1.618 or 3.236 outside the box, quote unquote, the box. Actually, we're talking about a pi or a circle. But then the box of the capital B, which is 13, and the OX, which is hugs and kisses, the 13 ox, and the transition with hugs and kisses at 104, the magician and the emperor, or leaving the body in a moment of inspiration. Message in a bottle, or hollow shell, which also comes up as allow she will, and speak up and be heard as the herd, as the birds flying above the beach and the ocean are those white wings. The rainbow that arcs them underneath is the air that you breathe, the wind beneath their wings. 2 U's in wings in 1 out of 2 or half inside in anointing one another at 109, the magician and the hermit, or the 9, which is the collective, on Terra, Gaia, and the collective awakening here to be had. So at 109, the beginning and the end of springtime blossoming, the empress's flowering, the urgent ring or call to flow. 3-4 today, shut the door. Ring around the rosy is the call to flow to your heart, to expand and grow, and then grieve the ending of each day in the sunset, where you are held by the reflection of your ancestors' compassion. Fly free, big birds. Transition to the big bird of 13 IG and 13 RD, which is the I God and I road or path or journey or research and development, the road less traveled. The air that you breathe and diamond light of the sun creates a so-called oil spill, the anointing. Look, a mirage, as opposed to the mirror. So I looked up MIR to get the definitions of why this was coming up. And MIR is very significant besides myrrh of the anointing with the oil. It's a traditional village community in Imperial Russia, characterized by self-government and collectivist control of local lands. We, ik, me, to me, red and the reddish coconuts, or the sky, word, language, and Russian MNP, which means peace and world. Respect, peace, special protection granted by monarch to certain individuals or places. Community as opposed to the individual farmsteads, and the holy oil, the mouse, the calm, and the tranquility here. So regarding That's MIR, and we're talking about mirage, which then is myrrh and age is vital force, being alive, length, face, and awe, the stage of life, the time in history, the lifespan generation, the eye, kettle, to drive and transport, to beam, a central bar of the plow, which came up in the car as the axle before, that's what drives, not the wheels, and the shaft, and the rotten, as well now, and right, and come now, and good, the tree trunk, the levee, embankment, the esteem and reverence, the deference, the to chastise and subdue, though also, and impress, agitate, and scare. That was what's coming up with age. And then mirror with ROR means rudder, the helm, oven, stove, or stovepipe, and roar. So the oil spill is an anointing of we and world peace by focusing on community of respect, calm, and tranquility. The reddish cocoa nuts, that is us perhaps, that is the sky, the word and the holy oil, the love bubble that drives the vital force to face and be alive, to generate both his and her story in the radius of the eye to source or projection, to transport or drive a beam, shaft of light, or intention, the trunk of the tree, the levee, the embankment, to offer esteem, and reverence, to impress, but at the same time can also chastise and subdue and agitate and scare. Well now, right, come on, good, so let's get going. The mirage, the age of myrrh, of anointing each other, as opposed to the mirror, which is what is seen with the eyes without seeing the intention behind it, or the world peace by roar of the helm, using the rudder and the ovens and the stovepipes, the old way of getting whacked, cooked, or gassed. At 139, the Magician and the Knight of Cups. The King of Wands in his duality requires balancing of the yin and yang, of the two dolphins hugging, wrapped up in each other's warmth, and along with good food and blessings and thanks each day. At 141, which is the Magician and the Ace of Cups. Synchronicities in heaven in your eyes, that the abundant universe has enough for everyone. Pause to receive healing, to come together in joy, before driving from point A to point B and beyond. From orange wings to gold, with no goal in sight, where seeing is believing, but insight or in flight, and feeling is knowing as you go. Red light, green light, from SNS, or safety and security, or suffering and silence, to love. Bringing the family tree together, top down, entangled at the root, collapsing all timelines, as the Knight of Swords is the key to freedom, as justice is truth and balance, honesty and equality, hugs and kisses, reaching out to touch someone. The entry wound may be deep, but the key is always nearby. The yellow of the solar plexus and the quantum entanglement, from the root to tip and getting wires crossed in the middle, but in a chaotic manner. A reorganization is to create order and a new pattern. At 149, my Nat came in, who's always about unforgettable. At 149 is the Magician and getting your wish, of the repeating patterns that are beautiful. But remember, the question is the important part. Unforgettable, as all the pieces fall into place, where the chips fall where they may, in the reordering and organizing of things or sudden events that arise out of your control. It's in the ask and not the tell, and offer, as opposed to something that gives you away before you offered. So offer your hand before it is taken. Find the joy and happiness in family circles, as the circle is a coil and it's always changing, despite the patterning. Sunrise, sunset, swiftly go the years, as the family supports the Queen of Cups, 38, the light body, to lighten up your days and nights. Find the missing piece. At 155, the Magician and the Truth, Excalibur, the needle in the haystack. Perhaps the kings and queens of cups are in your family, those who are closest yet may seem the farthest to you now, Maybe those are the ones right now you need to reach out to. Today we begin at the King of Cups, and we end at the Queen of Cups, whereas yesterday it was the opposite. PS at 156 is the Magician and the Two of Swords, being in your knowing and keeping your energy clear. PS is the P of 1 and 0, or 1 degree, and the S, or the sine wave, or 1 at 0 point waving, with Sophie, or South, or the salt of the earth. And the heart of emerald green, the Knight of Cups, and heart healing, and green sauce, and vein health. After all, the veins struggling to pump up to feed the heart. As above, so below, and the weeping pink willows of the high heart reflect, reaching out to touch someone who resonates and showing compassion. The transformation of chaos into form or shape, channeling the light like a laser beam ray to pinpoint the entry point with laser focus, taking it all in and saving some shadow pack for later to convert into energy stores. Transforming your own shadow, but also the collective work as well, coming out more than you are today. At 205, which is the High Priestess and the Hierophant, and then going from 7 to 6, actually going to 7 from 6, the Emperor and the Empress, together being greater than the lovers alone, where we are a world of all empresses and emperors, holding our own and yet in support of the rest. And time out needed in the purple moon to reflect before aligning with a wake-up call, to listen and note or tone. So perhaps you would like to tone, or Om. 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 The beacon of light shine on at the juncture, the junk DNA you are, where the T is the Christ DNA in the road less traveled. The heart and the high heart of the 31 of chaos, of physical health and compassion and chaos of light, to the 11 or 2 of alignment. With 44 plus 4, letting go of control, it's time for release of control. Allowing the fall, being light as a feather, into the bloom of spring, or the coil to be seen. Coining a phrase or phase conjugation, where then coil and coin were coming up. So of course I had to look up the COI, which means the heck and like what the heck, or the hammock made of the sail for a bunk. The quiet, silent, speechless cry of the huntsman to send out the dogs on a chase. Very sweet, or balls. To look, watch over, observe, or read. I assemble, I meet, or come together as a whole. To ball up like in a cuddle, or a curdle, and unite or copulate. To encounter, come up against, join, ally, mass together. Or in other words, a quick place to hang in a sack, with your mouth open wide and no words coming out. The pitch to the dogs that we can't hear, the sound of silence, so sweet, the chase. At the 11th hour, unite and come together as a whole. This is the coil between 2 points at a right angle, and the coin if JC is involved in being conscious of this. The repeating pattern of hanging in limbo, suspended animation, the perpetual moment before orgasm, an organized asm or assembly language, or the language of love, where love is the L of the right angle, the O of the circle elongating into an oval or ellipsis, and then the V of to create, the E of one equal and congruent to the other, or manifesting your equal as the world becomes one. the call of the wild for the sun to come home and spring into action, where action breaks down to a sea of alternating currents and air conditioning, and the Tyon, which is a cross between the male tiger and the lioness, to point a weapon at or to aim, and a bear, oh my, to channel the energy or condition the air or clear alternating currents between the male tiger and the lioness, clear the air. Action. Take one. At 2:33, which is the high priestess in the Christ consciousness or Christ vibration, take one is all you need. That first knowing before the fear sets in. So that was my Metatron read. All right, so now we have my 4-deck read, my message of the day for the collective. Okay, and this one has the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the LENORMAND Reverie, the Gilded, and the KIPPER deck. And I always forget to tell you how it's set up. These are the underlying energies over here. This is the first pile, and it goes over this way, and then this one, and then this is the last pile down here. So the message of the day from 330 to 32, as I put them out, the 3 of the Empress and the 30 of the Union or the Home, and the 32 of the Journey. The underlying energy of the Buffalo, the Loving Man, the 3 of Wands reversed, and the False Person. Great stability in the Buffalo there, of the Loving Man in the past with a False Person. The Fox sees the treacherous bugs coming out of the Scorpion and the Tarantula, lighting a fire at the Y in the road, or at the crossroads for the Tarantula anyway, where the eagle pounces on the otter as good cop, bad cop parents, the otter ignoring the eagle and looking to the buffalo for guidance or comfort. The Loving Man with a heart of gold and one final rose, going back to deal with the tango of the masked person, with wise counsel for the King of Wands and pests or rugrats, or a big mess that they left, getting out of the cage or the one who let them out on purpose, or released from work in Lover's Breakthrough to 28 of the Twin Flames or Choice of Path. Choosing the new path of love. The King of Pentacles perhaps divorcing or the injustice of the 10 of Cups upright, home partying while the King of Wands is footing the bill, walking away to look back and get a better perspective on all of this. The death of a marriage of abundance to court with the King of Wands or to file papers, and the King of Cups child on their own, or headed towards mature loving woman hermiting changes with mature man who's free to be lovers with romantic little girl, their inner children, and wise privileged lady without mask dances with the false person. The first section is the dragonfly and the firefly, with upside down family tree and foolish behavior. Perhaps after the house or judgment, or family trapped in their house, or a gated community at 503, the Hierophant and the Empress, which are both Taurus, by the way. The firefly with a choice to make on the Fool's Journey, inspired by an official person, or to be the official person and send light. The second section, or 2, because there are 3 2s that came out, or 4 2s, are the first 4 piles. The second deuce is the snake and the collective awakening to the dark partner's growl, or the dark panther, rather. The Page of Wands is cracking codes to bring good news to divine masculine main male magician. The panther trying to get to the center where the Knight of Wands is, and the man with concerns about this. 2 joining forces to lead the way, perhaps main male with father, or is the father with concerns about going to war, or the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands jumping on the bandwagon at 510, which is the Hierophant and the Wheel of Fortune. The third duo here is the Peacock and the Star, or one who likes to be seen. The peacock with big mountain to climb, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads on the Queen of Cups, who is toiling and laboring. The starfish inspired by report or good report card, or letter that the worst is over as the wounded warrior's path is transforming as they go. No longer confused about bliss, wanting to put an end to their suffering at 514, the Hierophant, and the Temperance card of the angels and that higher love of patience and balance. The fourth duo is the Unicorn and the Gazelle. I was just getting the Gazette, so I'm sure that's a paper in lots of towns. The etheric gateholder and the graceful Gazelle, with the polar bear shadow pushy at home or pushing for union, as the Devil and the Empress, or perhaps they're the same person, or the Devil and Mrs. Jones here. The Hermit reversed with the weight of the world and distant horizons unable to help them, and the Gazelle at home enjoying themselves, thinking about adjudication or fixing up their home in a settlement, or going to City Hall. The Hermit reversed, pushy Mother, or two separate people there, going crazy far away, or the Capricorn upright and Virgo reversed, wanting home, or the home in the settlement. The fifth section here is the mouse, the wolf, the butterfly, the dolphin, and the bat. The stunned wolf with the little ones who are anxious, the vulnerables as they transform, the happy high vibe dolphin, and the bat who's lost in space, or the space cadet, which can reference the arcs as well, because the soldiers are the ones who was reporting to Michael Sala about what's going on with the arcs. At 523, which is the Hierophant and the King of Wands. The wolf is paralyzed by what they see, unsure how to act, no longer leader of the pack. The mouse is trying to stay positive with nesting golden eggs, deliverance of their dreams in a heated exchange and not telling their true feelings, or delays in completion of family room or empty nest. Or the mouse has the run of the house, making noise in the attic, and the wolf Knight of Cups is taking a gamble with a house or a union as a gift or a present. The butterfly in clover over and over, the divine feminine high priestess destined to journey of despair or of the pair, and the dolphin is happily aligning with rod and staff at work as wealthy man in transition. The bat is grounding and integrating in an examination perhaps, the Page of Pentacles reversed needing help to take a journey or high vibe trip that is destined. Or the bat is hyper-focused on details, making things bigger than they are, while the Page of Pentacles reversed is in need of an opportunity, or never learns, to have faith in the journey and not the destination. In a heated exchange or delay with home destined to work, with the Page of Pentacles reversed who's not seasoned yet, or petty arguments at home and destined to go to work instead and be happy, as the wolf is gifting or gifted an empty house, or pets left at home with the run of the house. The sixth section here is the oyster, the lamb, and the hyena. The oyster clammed up around the poisonous snakes and the apples. The vehicle of infiltration here, refusing to say ah, or the car with issues, or a dud, or broke down, or living in the car hoping to hit the jackpot. The lamb a target of abundant ship or travel, to the King of Cups reversed, 28, with expectations, or someone who's looking out the window expecting them. At 539 is the Hierophant and the Knight of Cups, as the hyena is leaving the quote-unquote gift for the hermit with strength, or hermiting Leo, or suddenly thinking about sending flowers to Virgo or Leo, or Scorpio here too, with Cancer and Taurus, Virgo, Leo, and Libra here, or Empress with conditions of a child or partner's homecoming, or being allowed to come back in, or Cancer, King of Cups reverse, staking out his claim at 543, which is the Hierophant and the Three of Cups are coming together. The seventh little section there is the spider caught in their own web, with the dragon's watchful eye, the spider with romantic pup ending conflict, wanting the main female to take the lead, the dragons watching the vulnerable Page of Cups with multiple faces of deceit, as child often do, at the new moon, or Cancer reversed, or someone who has Cancer in their chart, or up before dawn to take care of bad health or healthcare issues, or a father with such. Sudden stardom and needing someone to take the dog, must get up early to walk, with the Hierophant reversed, divorced, or spiritually outside the box, and the main female ending conflict or in a losing battle, with the Queen of Wands thief, with the Page of Wands of great fortune, or using the child to angle in their next victim, or wrangle in their next victim, or living vicariously through their star child, or a child of divorce who's vulnerable to health issues and thieves, the thieves preying on their trusting nature, or the main female sick about the one that got away or the one that stole their heart. And the energy here of deception around a great fortune, or perhaps around wanting a great fortune at 5:54, which is the moment before the 5:55, which is big change. So that was that one. And then we go to the table read, which is the general read for the twin flames. And Versailles has been coming up. And the weekend away came up as well last night. And then on the same line is the ark in Ukraine. So something about the weekend away and the ark in Ukraine. Perhaps I'm getting Annie now. It's only a day away. And where are we today? Today Friday? Yeah, so the weekend is this weekend. That's interesting. So that could be coming up. Maybe that things will end over there. That would be really good. Things are ending. I'm putting out that intention. Okay, so the read on the table, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. I'll just show you that. So here's the basic read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck of the read on the table. And then here is all 7 decks. Okay, so the underlying energy where we start is over here with that 5 of what is it on top? It's the 5 of Cups on top, upright. So some grieving, obviously, because some people are worried about what's going on and have right to. I was actually at my dentist today, and the person I always deal with at the dentist has a relative who's actually in Ukraine in a building with no water and twin 6-year-olds. So, you know, it gets personal when it hits home, right? So we have this read was cut and dealt at 9:18, which happens to be my birthday, but it's the 9 of the Hermit and the 18 of the Moon. And then at 9:27 to 28, which is the Ace and 2 of Wands, Vine Justice came up. So again, we were talking a lot about the vine and the ivy vine that gets entangled and causes leaks. And also the word Tice came up, T-I-C-E, regarding, and it was being tied right here now to the Knight of Cups. It means to entice or coax or wheedle or stir up, and it's also a cricket game as well, Tice. So it's interesting because 2 4-letter T words came up. Tyon, which is that half tiger, half lioness, and then Tice here. So T-I-O-N and T-I-C-E. And the Vine Justice, which is coming up like divine justice, but regarding the vine. So I finished clarifying at 9:43, which is the Hermit and the 3 of Cups. The only major arcana in the read was the Justice card, and then the Sun card came up prior to the read as well. There were 4 cups, 3 wands, 2 swords, and 1 pentacle, which is 4, 3, 2, 1, jump. And then we have there were no court cards in the read, just the 9 of Cups, which could be a person. And then after the read was the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. And before the read, just the Knight of Cups. The numbers in the read were 555s, as I just brought up the fact that it was almost 555 in the time. But here the 555 did come up of great change. We also have double 1s, 6s, 7s, and 10s. The 1s being most significant, so the 11 of Justice and the 10-10 of that high vibration, the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles and the 77 of the Sovereign, which can very much be mother and daughter there. We also have the 5-6 of the Two of Swords, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the 710, which is 0 backing up the 71 of the Three of Pentacles. For me, it's the co-creation card. And then 15 of the Devil or the Shadow, 13 of the Death card and transition, 345, which is a 3D, 4D, 5D, and 78 of the Ten of Pentacles, the end of the deck, that dream family or world, and the 89 of Phi of expanding and contracting, and the 910 begin again, again, always being reminded to come back to the heart and the present moment again at that 0 point. And that was at 9:43. The code line was all about manifestation and spiritual partnership, as well as love partnership. And check this number out on the code line today. 9310151, all one number. So 9,310,151. And if that specifically resonates with anyone, you basically have hit the jackpot. So let me know if that means anything to you. Manifestation of spiritual partnership and love partnership with 9310151, which I looked it up, of course, to see what came up. And the first thing that came up was the NLM catalog result, James Lander's Handbook of Capillary Electrophoresis, I think it says. And then the second one that came up was the gene result, LOC 9310151, putative SWI/NS/SNF, related matrix-associated actin-dependent regulator of chromatin subfamily, a member 3-like-2. That was the title. And then also came up as nearly natural 5-foot artificial olive topiary tree. So there's the olive again. So that's significant. And then US 9310151B2 came up, which is an insertion tube for firing subcaliber ammunition bodies. And it said 20 in parentheses, using a high caliber weapon. And 20 is the judgment card. So the code line, being about manifestation of spiritual partnership and love partnership, was coming up as to stand without having sat down, the key of the hermit and taking the high road to Eden with the devil and passion and a flash of light, to assist in manifesting a spy ritual or partnership with at par, and then teenership, which could be that like kind of Ike and Tina energy, and love partnership as well. To see the 8, which is an island in the middle of a river, or an oat or barn, something that's pleasant or fine or comical or queer, likable or excellent, intending to do or tutor or teach. I say, I affirm, argue yesterday, eat and chameleon, and see yesterday, the island and the river, the hermit and the empress, destined devil of passion in a flash with a false lover. And that was weird too, because in the movie last night, there was some, icky energy around, people who want to drug other people, dating, drugging, and killing and things like that. So that was coming up. To see the AI key or timeout 9 to 3, perhaps tennis, perhaps in it like a tennis match, a ping pong match, expanding new passion to self-cherish. Cherish is the word I use to describe. So that's coming up for a reason. And then Versailles. At 10:48, the high vibe of the 48 of walking away within of the 8 of Cups. As the 5 of Cups is the bottom of the deck, and below it, the Sun, the 7 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords all upright, and then the Knight of Cups and the 10 of Cups reversed. With sunshine and exposure to ascend, taking steps to peace, to travel, and the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected or jealous. The family unhappy or an emotional cycle that's so over and perhaps grieving here. The flame or the home or at home grieving, separation, heartbreak or disappointment, losing patience or temper or a fallen angel with the Magician reversed, who may be very manipulative and frustrated. walking away angry, or the Magician reversed, insecure without tools to deal with a lack of arousal or inability to comprehend something, or perhaps an inability to conceive. The Ten of Pentacles upright sent out the Knight of Swords to unhappy Empress, or the one who's never satisfied, and the High Priestess, who both may be upset here, unless that's one person, at 1126, the Justice of the Page of Wands. The Nut with ice cream, or orange sherbet, or melon balls, and the Viking with a hook in their train, or third eye, as the man covers their left eye in order to connect, or sisters concerned about their piousness. One on the golf course or drive, and one on her Viking pulpit between salt and pepper pillars, with disappointment on their faces. Or two women watching over the men camping out, the ladies at the court, and the men who go to war. The man wearing his heart at the foot of his outdoor bedding, or lawn chair, at 1151, Justice of the King of Swords. And the Two of Swords reversed with new information of depression present to the Emperor reversed, inconsolable, bleeding head or leaking ceiling, in need of hope and to grow up, not getting their wish or dissatisfied, naked and distant and not without risk, unrequited passion with the Queen of Cups reversed, grieving thee who is not present, as the postman comes to call, with herbs but not flowers, and dessert out of the question, with memories of what never manifested, the flame put aside in the summer and the fall past. A penny for your thoughts, in the fountain of euthanasia, diving for pennies that don't pay in the end. After monkeying around just for kicks and giggles, we were just having fun, weren't we? Man on the run, falling out of favor, with personal growth and number 7 of the Chariot, and beneath that, pride and the number 19 of the Sun. Avoiding disaster or after sudden event. Personal growth, or personal growth. Dumped, purging, overwhelmed, sick or sweating it out, standing up for self and perhaps the best man, raising a glass, and then the Knight of Cups off to propose. In need of sunshine, justice, and sex, or draining or drained, unfair to be in love, with exposed beams and fan without the heat on, as Saturn tops Aquarius in a clash of the Titans. Services versus salty of Leo and Libra reversed, along with Gemini, or twins, at 12:21 a.m. Or lovers' fall is overexposed, the lover's grieving heartbreak of the Emperor's reversed, longing for personal or personal growth. The lover misses the Emperor reversed, and the Emperor reversed misses their heir, or having one. The Hermit reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, coming out unable to function or disabled with children, at 12:23 the Hanging Man and the King of Wands. Sunshine, warmth, and exposure after death, in the never-ending story of soulmates and union, and the King of Pentacles reversed confessing to the Knight of Wands reversed that Chariot is war, and the Emperor reversed, ego is getting the best of him, at war surrendering due to affections, and lovers dropping the facade and disconnect or at a distance, with a new offer to the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and a man down, and the Queen of Cups reversed worried about a decision to find peace with a sister or in suffering and silence, avoiding detox, or after sudden events and detoxing them, at 12:54, which is the Hangman and the Message. In the recent past is the Ace of Cups upright, the big love, grieving lover without options, with the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy family or emotional cycle that's over, and the Queen of Wands, injustice or unfair in presenting or demanding the truth to or about Cancer, or at night, or by the full moon. Released from prison to settle out or to be strong in a losing battle with destiny, as Libra is upright and reversed, with Cancer and Leo both upright, and the foundation, the Nine of Cups reversed, unhappy in marriage and spreading the word, like stealing from a baby, the Page of Wands missing their pacifier, or sister, or suffering in silence. Amidst Taurus, the Page of Swords and the Page of Wands, only one grieving, the others are not, And the central energy is the Five of Wands reversed, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, and being arrogant or feeling guilt for the heated exchange in the background and having to leave or walk away. Then challenged by the Ace of Wands reversed, lacking passion or sexual abuse, or all unhappy and a liar, cheat, or thief who's feeling guilt and shame, and seeing synchronicities of the One, and heaven in their eyes with chariots of fire, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed receiving big love handed to her on a silver platter. And then the same offer that they just extended to them, they turned around and offered it in a much smaller version to one who is ignoring them. And that could be the Divine Feminine, the 5D, or a Pisces reversed. Offering big love to the wrong one and little to nothing to the one whose world is upside down. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed is getting multiple offers of big love, all the same to her. She's all about the money and stability. She could care less about that. And the grounding and integrating of the upside down world after jealous rage, and the Ten of Cups reversed unhappy family, and the fire, or finally, or the fire cracking the egg. What the Page of Wands knows, the High Priestess with keys behind closed doors, and the Knight of Cups reversed jealous, no surprise, of a man with two lovers, and the Page of Pentacles reversed no longer hurting themselves. At 116, which is the Magician and the Tower, not willing to burn the past, this was that Page of Pentacles, not willing to burn the past, with Hermit missing their flame and losing circulation perhaps, or circulation in their legs, and the Page of Swords upright stretching from frog to prince, the Fool free to leap in a release from imprisonment. The High Priestess reversed in a secret passion, detoxing, moving and visiting while things are slow with the lover, and juggling 3 while saving 2 for later in a losing in a losing battle of three-way situation, or somebody might have lost the batter all over the kitchen. Losing batter in a three-way situation with the Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help, and the Knight of Cups reversed caving to unwanted advances, and sharing codependency and injustice in a guarded condition with the Queen of Swords reversed with sister for comfort or aid, judgmental behind closed doors, and the King of Wands reversed feeling a failure, being strong-armed into putting the boat in the water to find peace before offering a new life to the Page of Cups present, to the King of Pentacles reversed, who's no superhero here. The Seven of Swords upright passing downloads, and the Ten of Cups reversed clinging to lovers, surrendering to the King of Pentacles reversed, defending themselves to the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with the Queen of Cups reversed and her back turned, awake to losing patience with fallen angel and working to align, but surrounded with fallen angels and jealousy and resentment. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Three of Cups upright, coming together in joy, as the Knight of Wands reverse player is tooting their own horn, being strong or pacifying the beast by working long hours to save and be practical, with the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, and community, over Scrooge or the peasants, and the Hermit advising them to settle out or share and be charitable. Let go of control, playfulness, and engagement all came up for the twins. Around them are how they're seen as the Ten of Pentacles, that dream family, celebrating the sovereign. Knight of Swords is delivery. The King of Cups reverse rising above to reap rewards in daydream, and the Knight of Swords is sent out by the King of Cups reverse to deliver the news that 2 are in the Garden of Eden and don't even realize they're in each other's presence at 133. The Magician and the Christ vibration, or that 6 of Wands of good news coming in. He not feeling worthy quite yet. The block being the 4 of Wands of home and honorable marriage. And no clowning around or breaking patterns. With love partnership, spiritual partnership, and manifestation. The Fool free to roam as long as they're not spying and watching out for snakes. The injustice of the 6 of Cups upright, destined to be happy lovers, with the Page of Pentacles reversed getting help to find their passion again with Hermit, and the King of Pentacles reversed unjustly exposing all in disconnect or at a distance with the Empress upright out in the cold with the King of Swords reversed. With Virgo, Libra reversed, and Libra upright Virgo, so the reverse of each. Also Gemini and Aries upright, Leo and Taurus upright here, walking away to the King of Wands reversed under the radar, to the King of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed now that the worst is over. So at 142, the Magician and the Two of Cups, there's grief, unhappiness, and not getting their wish. Coming together with the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community to offer condolences or their love from a losing battle, challenged by the lack of inspiration or lack of understanding, passing information to home or within union, stretching the circle to the oval to create direction, the injustice of walking away to the King of Wands and the Six of Wands, both reversed, who are with the King of Pentacles and Knight of Wands, both reversed. Perhaps the two sets of them are calling a truce and licking their wounds, because they all look like they're guys from battle. 146 is the Magician and the loving children, the Six of Cups in the garden, grieving a big love of the lovers, dissatisfied ending a battle when they could have won the war, and challenged by the lack of inspiration or the wounds, the loss of arousal and sense of humor, or being aroused by the wrong kind of thing, and coming together to share information with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, or world at large, at home. The injustice of walking away for those with a castle to go home to, or coming together for a celebration of life, but it seems to be a lot of disconnect within this room. Juggling lives that are unfair, some enjoying themselves and others just not feeling it at 152, which is the Magician and the Queen of Swords. So there is your message. All right, so let's see what comes up with. I'm going to pull from the Shaman Dreams deck today. See what comes up. For the Twin Flames, what is our takeaway from all of this today? With the justice of that Libra energy and the big transformation and letting go of things that no longer serve, Scorpio energy, and then going into the Sagittarius expansion energy of Jupiter and of benevolence. And that's the final quarter of the year as well. What is the message here? Okay, we have two cards here. The Eye of the Needle, which comes up as the double-eyed black hole of the push and pull of the twin flames, and that came up from Cryon. The Eye of the Needle and intentionality, using your intention in a very, down to the little pinpoint preciseness of the laser, that funneled and channeled energy. The Eye of the Needle. Getting it really tuned, right? Really just fine-tuning whatever your talents or abilities are. And then the Vanishing Mirror for ego sublimation. And that's interesting. Look, the mirror is broken. And I just said it was the mirage versus the mirror. And the mirage is that image of the oil, that you see in the middle of the desert, right, when you're seeing things. It's the same as that bubble in the ark that was floating in the middle of the room. It looks like oil, floating. And that was coming up too as the plasma bubble, or like a sack hanging in midair. There's a lot of references to it today. But again, here's that breaking of the mirror. Because the mirror is what you see with your eyes, but the mirage is what you feel. You're seeing beyond the eyes. You're seeing beyond the eyes, the Eye of the Needle, the Vanishing Mirror. Very cool. With your intention and ego sublimation. So letting go of needing to look in the mirror too, as far as seeing if you look okay, which is ego. And then we have the 48 as well, the Sky Dancers of surrender. And that's like the little, who am I thinking of? Tinkerbell. This looks like the fairy tales, right, with the witch's mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And the Eye of the Needle with intentionality. And what is the intention behind the wish or the healing? And again, the breaking of the vanishing mirror in letting go of ego as the sky dancers dance in surrender. The 48 of walking away and within. The 58 is the rest of Sleeping Beauty, right? She's taking a rest. She's connecting in 5D instead of looking in the mirror. And the 17 of the star of the show, is the eye of the needle, is seeing within. 17, the star of the show, is the 5D connection, walking away and within. The bottom of the deck is the empty well. Oh, because you've been diving deep and it's empty now. That's an amazing message. 16 is the tower of sudden events, epiphanies, and sexual exchange. Time to replenish. And if you're not drinking enough water, make sure to do so. But for me, that comes up as good, because we always talk about the well being, diving deep into your wounds to dig for more. So once you've cleared your wounds, it's time to replenish. And again, that replacing the old negative patterns with the new positive patterns, right? Because the coil is always a pattern. The rose is a pattern. There's nothing wrong with a pattern. It's beautiful. But you want the good ones that are serving you, not the bad ones that aren't. And if you're not in fear, you can always jump from one pattern to the next. It's that quantum leap. So let's see what the journey of love has for you. But there's, it's an empty well, so it's showing I'm getting thirsty. What are you thirsty for? What is your inspiration? Right? Without looking outside yourself, without looking in the mirror, but just by being you and going within and knowing already and funneling that energy. Where is that? Where you want to put that energy? What is it you want to fine tune? And there's the Christ flame of the 31 of chaos, the suffering that's gone on long enough. And by her grace, Mary Magdalene, the 17, the star of the show, which is the divine feminine, which is the star of the show in the ascension of Aquarius. The old, she extends her hand to the old ways of doing things that are going away. The 44 that's going away to become the 8, which is also the 4 of cups of grounding, integrating what you've expanded, but also can be, times of feeling sorry for oneself. It can be that victim mentality or feeling bored. But that's time not to be feeling sorry for yourself, but time to allow your body to integrate what you've learned and expand your emotional bodies, your spiritual, intellectual bodies, and your physical body to integrate what you've learned and make it become one with you, the merging. So there's one more card, and then the bottom of the deck. Hold on one sec. So you see, she's keeping them at her arm's length. She's protecting her man and keeping the old ones with their old ideas. She's being very gracious to them, but also keeping them at an arm's distance and protecting her man, who's been through a lot. And the bottom of the deck is the legacy of light of the 53 of the Knight of Swords. And again, that was coming up as the messenger from the King of Cups, up reverse though. And again, this always reminds me of Jesus like holding a sleeping bag in one hand and someone who needs help on the other, right? The Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, walking around the earth and just helping people, that legacy of light. So this is very much about the Christ energy here, and him and his wounds, and the Mary Magdalene energy and her grace, who has always stood up for him and defended his honor and kept those who would come against them at an arm's distance, right? It's like keeping your friends close, but your enemies closer, to make sure you know what they're doing. It's like, we're not going to push them away, but we're going to keep you at a safe distance, so at least we know what kind of energy you're in. And then here we have the devotion to the small, the 32 of the journey, And again, this is also, you know, taking care of ailing parents and grandparents, as well as the little ones, the children, the pets, the flowers. There's time to plant seeds, devotion to the small. And this could be, you know, a grumpy old man or woman who's like, you know, making your energy negative because of their belief system. And so it's like keeping them at a safe distance, but still being loving or compassionate to them, right? Perhaps there's a need to take care of little ones here. And again, some of those energies have come up in the reads where there's like a grandparent taking care of a small child and it's hard on the grandparent. Or it's just the grandparent becoming the child who needs taken care of now. And if they need caring for, then they're going to have to do things the adult's way, not their way anymore. And so they have to kind of succumb to that, which is a lesson, right, of letting go of control. And this is very much the energy of the, you know, Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the controllers who are now getting old. As the new children are up and coming, are going to be taking over soon. So there's a devotion to the small, you know, to make sure they're well taken care of. Very interesting. I do want to pull an energy card real quick for you guys too. This came right out. Oh, cornucopia. There's enough for all. This is Thanksgiving every day. There's abundance in the world. There's enough for everybody. Allow the light to shine through. And that's the 11 of justice in abundance. And the thinking man of new ways, perhaps on how to dole out that abundance. And this is someone looking at new ways to do things, the 46 of going into the inner child, and then making sure they get enough rest and rejuvenation as well, getting sun and rest, allowing themselves to replenish again when the well is empty. And one more. Then there's a storm warning, the 10 of destiny, right, that comes in when you don't do it for yourself. The storm comes in to kind of whip everything up so that everything will reorder all at once, which may be more difficult, but it happens quicker as well. And then the angel of love. Okay, so some very sweet energy there. And it's paralleling with the other cards here. Let me show you to that. The bottom of the deck is the yin yang, which also came up today, and the 22 of the Fool's Journey, finding balance on the Fool's Journey with an open heart, taking a leap of faith. And I want to show you here because with these cards, the other cards in the other decks all came out like in similar ways. See how the innocent energy came out last, like this? And then we have some older energy there, and then there's a couple here as well. So it's like the old person is the storm warning, right? Coming in, whether it's the powers that be or your parent or grandparent who's, you know, set in their ways. The storm that comes in to clear the way for the new and the young to come in. Right? So the mirror is broken. And really tweaking your talents. And the children learning to walk away and within to get what they want, right? To take care of themselves, learning how to do that. And knowing there is abundance for all. And again, the yin-yang of balance, of getting rest, of eating properly. Okay? And not just all work, not just all play, but a real balance of life, of spending time with your loved ones as well. The getting your wish, destiny, the sun, the inner children, loving each other, and justice, truth, and balance. It's really beautiful energy. Yeah. So I'm going to read the Christ card of 31, which is that chaos that was coming up in my read as well today, the 13 and 31. So, the Christ flame. Within you burns the flame of Christ. Beyond religion, this flame belongs to all hearts willing to receive the divine, opening to it as a lover would open the heart to receive the beloved. Though the awakening of Christ within brings greater closeness to the divine, and therefore greater love and depth of compassion, it too can bring sadness, righteous anger, and a passionate need to contribute positive healing action and change in the world. You may be introspective soul who does this through mastering their inner world with meditation and yoga, and raising your own vibration with absolute intent that this bring healing to the world around you. Or you may be extroverted soul that thrives in sharing messages and living a life of dynamic action in support of the causes that are worthy and moving to your brave heart, capable of feeling divine outrage and responding with inspired action. You may be a combination of these soul types and choosing wisely what you consume, which companies you support, and which television you do or don't watch, and what you read, voting for the life you want to have around you in the world through your actions, internal and external. This is the Christ flame igniting within you, setting the world aflame with the fire of divine love. This oracle brings guidance that you're connecting with the universal Christ consciousness, and your heart's meant to awaken as the Sacred Heart. Bearing the Christ flame of divine love this lifetime, you're a part of the wave of awakening happening on the earth now, and you're exactly where you're meant to be and doing exactly what you are meant to be doing. So keep going. And the poem reads, Love is more than words can define. It is a feeling which wells up inside and longs for release. It's a smile which starts in my heart and spreads across my face like a silly grin. It's a knowing so deep in my being that every cell speaks in a language only lovers know. And most of all, it is the beginning, the birth, the possibility, the promise of a tomorrow, the hope that grows into something we can only imagine when hearts combine and love becomes more. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, and your nature, and your balance. And to breathe deeply every day. Be good to yourself and others. And stand up for yourself without being defensive. And rise and be love. And I'll see you soon, guys. Have a great one.